Going right into chapter 12, talking about taxes, different types of taxes that we pay, what are taxes put for in terms of the services that they fund, and developing a tax strategy so we can reduce our taxable income. Section 12.1, Income Tax Fundamentals. There's only one section, chapter 12, so just mark that in your notes. And now paying taxes. Who collects all these taxes that we pay? The IRS, so the Internal Revenue Service. We pay taxes to the government in order for the government to provide us services. So a lot of services are funded and run because of the taxes that we pay, such as repairing roads, schools, police, Medicare, Medicaid, the military, reducing our national debt, fire departments, parks, libraries, food and drug inspection. They are all provided by and thanks to the taxes that we pay. So without our taxes, we wouldn't have these services. We pay taxes on purchases, so sales tax. 7% is the sales tax in New Jersey. We pay taxes on property with the property tax. That is on the land and the building, so your land and your house. We pay taxes on earnings with our income tax, whether you make a wage, which you get paid per hour, or a salary. And we also pay taxes on wealth, with the state inheritance tax. A state tax is the tax collected on value of a person's property at the time of their death. So when someone dies, there is a tax collected on the value of their property. And the inheritance tax is if you were to inherit, say, if I left my house to my brother and I wrote in my will that he was to inherit my house, he would have to pay an inheritance tax on the property left to him. So it's kind of different taxes that we pay. Going right into understanding taxes. Taxes are automatically withheld from our paycheck throughout the year. Okay. We then file an income tax return, and that we report how much money we made from working and the exact taxes that are owed on the money that we made. So how much we owe in taxes. If you work, you all owe a specific amount to the government. You then compare what we paid in taxes to our tax liability. That is what we have to pay in taxes to determine if you owe or get a refund. So we look at how much we paid in taxes to our tax liability. That's how much we have to pay the government to see whether we owe or we get a refund. Step 1, payroll withholding. This allows employers to withhold federal income tax from our paycheck. As soon as you start a job, you fill out a W-4, okay? And that W-4, as I noted before, it allows employers to withhold federal income tax from our paycheck. We can claim allowances if married or have dependents, and allowances reduces the amount of taxes withheld. So if we're married, we can claim an allowance. If we have dependents, such as children who are dependent on the money that we make, we can claim an allowance. It all reduces the taxes that we pay. So the more allowances that you have, the less taxes that are taken out of our paycheck, which is great, but you could possibly owe money come tax season. If you have less allowances, so for myself, I have 0 allowances, I'm not married, and I don't have children, I have more taxes taken out of my paycheck, which isn't good, but I have a higher chance of getting a refund come tax time, which is good. So the nice little extra bonus check, you can say. Step 2, you receive your W-2, which is W-2 lists the amount of money that we made and the taxes that we paid. All right, your employer has to give this to you by January 31st of the next year. Step 3, we must file our income tax return by April 15th. If you don't, you can face a penalty. All right, this I'll go over in school, these next 3 slides. But note, okay, and this we'll go over more in school, that depending on how much you make, we are all put into a tax bracket. So have you ever heard tax bracket on the news amongst your parents, guardians, friends, this is what they're talking about. Okay, depending on how much you make, you all have to pay a specific rate. As you can see, single taxpayers, the more money you make, the more percentage in taxes that we have to pay. And step four, we compare. We compare the taxes that were actually taken out to the taxes that we owe the government. If you have more taxes taken out of your paycheck than what you're supposed to, you get a refund. If you have less taxes taken out because you claim a lot of dependents, and we'll get more into that in class, if you pay less taxes than you're supposed to, of course, we still owe money to government.